Dennis Johnson has always looked for the cooperative solution to economic and social challenges. And judging by his remarkable career, he usually finds it. From expanding lending opportunities for co-ops, to championing government support of cooperative development, to promoting co-ops to solve senior housing needs, Dennis Johnson's imprint transcends cooperative sectors and national borders. Dennis learned the value of cooperatives growing up on a small dairy farm near Rock Creek, Minnesota. His grandfather was a founder of the area's rural electric co-op, and his parents, Arnold and Donna, were loyal members of their local farm supply and marketing cooperatives. Like most farm kids, Dennis, his sisters Catherine and Deborah, and brother Douglas were 4-H members. They attended a one-room elementary school before heading to Pine City for high school, where Dennis was in student government, theater, choir, and ultimately co-valedictorian. High school sweethearts Dennis and Vicky started dating their senior year and married while Dennis attended the University of Minnesota. After receiving an undergraduate and master's degree, Dennis began his professional career as a credit analyst for the St. Paul Bank for Cooperatives. Propelled by his financial acumen and much respected advice, he moved up the ranks of the organization, becoming CEO in 1990. During his leadership tenure, the bank expanded from a lender with a 4-state charter to one with national scope. The 1980s were a period of extreme turmoil for agriculture, but a grassroots phenomenon of co-op fever germinated in the upper Midwest, with farmers organizing producer-owned, value-added ag cooperatives. These new ventures were difficult to finance, but Dennis and the bank stepped up to become a major lender. The renewed interest in cooperatives also created awareness of the need for technical assistance to help groups utilize the model. Dennis played a key role in creating what was to become Cooperative Development Services, a first-of-its-kind approach to strengthening and developing cooperatives. Dennis would spend 20 years as a board member and chair of the organization. Recognizing the national need for cooperative development, Dennis leveraged his relationships with cooperatives to raise funds for the National Rural Development Task Force. The task force obtained congressional authorization and appropriation for the Rural Cooperative Development Grant Program. Today, that program supports 30 organizations and remains the primary source of federal funding for cooperative development. Dennis's cooperative involvement wasn't confined to the States. After the fall of the Soviet Union, he helped establish the American Cooperative Enterprise Center in Central Europe, and President Bill Clinton appointed him to the board of the Western Newly Independent States Enterprise Fund. Back home, an aging rural population was posing another challenge: how to provide suitable housing that would allow seniors to age in their communities. Of course, Dennis had a cooperative solution. Under his leadership, and with the support of regional cooperatives, Homestead Housing created 17 new co-ops in Minnesota and Iowa, all of which are still in operation. Upon Dennis's retirement from the St. Paul Bank, he turned his full attention to senior cooperative housing. The financial model used in Homestead Housing was unsustainable. Dennis joined Cooperative Housing Resources and developed a successful new approach. CHR now is the only lender in the nation solely focused on financing senior housing co-ops. Dennis also expanded the education opportunities for seniors living in cooperative housing with the creation of the Senior Cooperative Foundation. SCF programs include a conference with an annual attendance of over 300 and a senior housing cooperative education program whose training modules have been delivered to over 4,000 member owners. He also helped develop a senior housing purchasing cooperative to reduce the cost of commonly used goods and service. It's not all work. Dennis has a rich family life. For years, Dennis and Travis were active in Boy Scouts. The family has grown to include Travis's wife Melanie and their 8-year-old twin daughters Allie and Ellie. Dennis unwinds with do-it-yourself projects and cooking, especially with the bounty from his vegetable gardens. He and Vicky travel the world, and there's always time for family at the lake. Through his leadership, his integrity, and his unwavering belief that co-ops are the solution to rural America's challenges, Dennis has shaped some of the nation's most enduring cooperative development infrastructure. That is why tonight, we are honoring Dennis Johnson with induction into the Cooperative Hall of Fame.